Cops allegedly abusing their power. Now, this is what the court will be looking into as the For Meyiwa murder trial continues this morning. Police officer Wendell Jonathan will be in the hot seat, giving more details on his version of events. Well, he escorted accused number 1 and 2 to make confessions, and it's alleged that he and other officers assaulted and tortured both accused into making statements. eNCA reporter Manqoba Mchunu is tracking developments. Let's cross to him now ahead of the trial continuing on this morning. Manqoba, a warm good morning, and hopefully you're keeping warm for where you stand, colleague, because as we've heard from the South African Weather Service, it's freezing in Johannesburg. But we understand that it seems the temperature will take a different, direction inside court. We are placing the spotlight on the conduct of police officers, particularly when it comes to being accused of coercing, the accused or suspects into making confessions. Take me through what is expected in court.
Well, a very good morning to you, Dumelo. Indeed, the conduct of police expected to again come under the spotlight here in the trial within a trial. And on Friday, we heard one of the police officers who had taken down a confession from accused number 2, Bongani Ntanzi, being grilled about how the police had handled Bongani Ntanzi in police custody. So what emerged in court was an occurrence book from the Valeria police station where Bongani Ntanzi had been detained just prior to making his confession. You recall that we've heard in court that he had made 2 confessions. The first one he made on the 19th of June in 2020. This was just 3 days after he was arrested. The second one he made on the 24th of June in 2020, and this one was made before Magistrate Vivian Conyer. So what we heard is that from that occurrence book at the police station, it now appears that Bongani Ntanzi had in fact been booked out by police officers on several occasions prior to making that particular confession. And it emerged also that just a day just before Bongani Ntanzi had made that particular statement, he had been booked out the entire day as well as night, and was only brought back to the police cells the early morning of the day that he had made that confession. He only stayed about 2 hours in the cells, and after that he had then been taken at 10 to 5 in the morning to go and make that particular confession. But it appears that there are hours that are unaccounted for as far as his bookings are concerned, and what the defense is saying is that this is the time that the assault, the torture had then taken place from the police. They're saying that the 2 accused, that's Bongani Ntanzi and Musika Kulelwa Sibiya, were assaulted and tortured by the police into making those particular confessions. And this is crucial for this trial within a trial, because that's exactly what it's trying to establish, whether or not they made those statements freely and voluntarily, or if they were coerced in one way or the other to make those particular statements. So we also heard from the 2 Metro police officers that had escorted both the accused number 1 and accused number 2. So we heard from Kosing Pile Mapumulo, who had been the one that transported accused number 1, Musika Kulelwa Sibiya, to a Deep Kloof police station where he had made his confession on the 30th of May, just hours after he was arrested. And he says that when he took accused number 1 to the police station, he had not been assaulted. In fact, he did not show any injuries or any marks of being assaulted. He says that he was never involved in any assault of the accused. We also heard from Wendell Jonathan, who also told the court that there was no assault that had taken place on both accused number 1 and number 2. He insists that he did not, assault these particular accused, and that none of the police officers that were there had partaken in any form of torture or assault of these accused. So we're expecting the cross-examination of Jonathan, or Wendell Jonathan's rather, to continue this morning, with the defense, of course, expected to cast and ask more difficult questions about the police conduct and how they had then escorted and taken these accused to make their confessions. They insist that they were assaulted and tortured and even tubed by the Metro Police as well as SEPS into making those confessions.
Yeah, we'll definitely, of course, hear what happens inside court. Before I let you go, briefly, because we also have to head to a break, Manqoba, what time is court expected?
We're expecting proceedings to start promptly at 10 o'clock this morning, with Jonathan expected back on the stand.
All right, we'll leave it there. Thank you so much. That's my colleague, eNCA's Manqoba Mchunu, outside court for us, of course, updating on the latest with regards to context in as far as the defense working very hard to prove that accused number 1 and 2 were coerced into making that confession. But, of course, Wendell Jonathan expected back inside the testimony or the hot seat in as far as his testimony is concerned, giving clarity to what exactly happened, the version of events according to his perspective in as far as the conduct of the police is concerned. We'll bring you those details right here on eNCA.